If you have an offer where you solve problems for people and you have that offer laid out, then there's no reason for you to worry about content creation anymore. And I say that because of the formula that we're going to go through today. And what it will let you do is it will actually apply your offer to hundreds of, what we call pieces of content. Now, most established coaches and service providers have months, sometimes years of content behind them. They've got podcast episodes, video scripts, workshop recordings. They've got blog posts, email sequences, webinar slides. Well, the list is kind of endless for most people. The body of work that they've built while trying to educate their audience and demonstrate their expertise is often substantial. Sometimes they've created dozens or hundreds of pieces, and almost all of it is just like sitting somewhere, largely unused, because the culture of content creation has almost like a relentless movement, and it's like a forward momentum. Like, this, you post something this week, next week you feel you need something new. Previous week's content is now old, move on. Isn't that the big idea? The business owner, though, ends up in a position that's exhausting. They have to keep trying to work out how to feed that machine, keep creating. And last month's content doesn't help this month. But with the method I'm about to share, your best existing content will be the raw material for maybe a year's worth of posts and videos to be used as needed. And that will be relevant to each of your ad campaigns as well. And honestly, I've seen so many business owners now who are burnt out on that treadmill of having to keep up producing that they couldn't see a way to get the return they wanted from their content without working even harder at it and producing even more content every week. And then they saw what their existing content could become with a different approach. One piece, a video they recorded, let's say 18 months ago, well made, generally useful, sitting in a folder, could then become 4 relevant different videos targeting 4 different psychological entry points. Those 4 videos could become 4 written posts. Those posts could also become audio. Some of it could become relevant short form content, and across platforms, across formats, across weeks of a content calendar. One piece of content, thoughtfully reframed, multiplied. I actually watched a client realize in a single conversation that she had approximately 2 years of content sitting in recordings and transcripts. She'd been producing new pieces of content every single week because she thought that was the only way to keep her pipeline filled. And when she saw that her existing body of work could be systematically transformed into a content library large enough to run the whole conveyor belt for 18 months without recording a single new piece, something then visibly shifted. It was excitement, actually. It was not just in terms of relief, but also in terms of identity. She actually stopped thinking of herself as someone who makes content and started thinking of herself as someone who has a content system. And that's a different relationship with the work. The creator is always behind, always needing to produce the next new thing. The architect, though, has made their most important decisions months ago and is watching them compound. The businesses I see running the most efficient conveyor belts don't have the most energetic content creators. They actually have business owners who at some point stopped creating for the sake of creating and instead started building a system that would run only on what they'd already made, which was relevant and valuable to their current audience. They invested a period of time in developing the structure, understanding the 4 lenses, understanding how to repurpose formats, building a library of content that would feed the retargeting campaign, and then they stepped off the treadmill. The content machine still runs, but they're just not inside it anymore running. They're alongside it, watching it work instead. And what that looks like is practically worth describing in some detail because the before and after, as you can imagine, are quite different. Before, you know this, you are planning what to create this week or last week or this month, and you're looking at what performed last month for ideas. You're under the background pressure to maintain visible activity because the moment you stop, the pipeline perception is that you've gone quiet for a reason. And you're extracting energy from yourself to keep that system running constantly. Now, after, you have a library of content in various stages of repurposing. You have the weeks of conveyor belt scheduled, and you have more content in draft than you can deploy this month. The decisions that matter have already been made, which pieces are the strongest, which lenses work the best for your audience, which formats your ideal client prefers. And the only decisions left are the scheduling ones. And most of those could be handled without you. The energy you were spending on creation is now available for everything that actually requires you personally. Things like your client work, your offer development, the thinking about where your business is going, the things that the content machine was competing for your attention with. I've never heard someone describe this shift as small, because the people who arrived at this point consistently describe this as one of the better changes on how they're running their business. Because the treadmill of content creation has a particular kind of weight. It doesn't actually feel heavy on any given day. It kind of feels manageable, but it just never stops. And now, of course, this doesn't remove the need for good content. That's important to understand, because your videos and content and posts still have to be well designed, and any repurposing still has to be done thoughtfully, but instead it transforms that relationship between the content and the person who made it. And instead, it turns a body of work that's already been done into a system that works rather well.